Attention! This is not material for passive consumption. It is designed to be heard with maximum concentration. The following revelations are direct, potentially disturbing, and may challenge your perceptions. Due to the sensitive nature of the content, its availability may be limited. Your experience on this topic is valuable. Leave it in the comments.
Take a moment. I want you to scan your memory, your current office environment. Picture the most successful person you know. That individual who seems to walk through walls. The magnetic personality who can quiet a room with a glance and ignite it with a word. The one who closes every impossible deal, who charms every skeptical client, who always, without fail, has the perfect incisive thing to say in a high-stakes meeting. They seem fearless, unburdened by doubt. They are decisive, a force of nature, what we are told a natural-born leader looks like. You admire them, you study them. Perhaps in your most ambitious moments, you even aspire to be them. But now, I want you to entertain a darker, more unsettling possibility. What if that fearlessness is not courage, but a biological and psychological absence of a crucial human wiring? A void where fear should be. What if their celebrated decisiveness is not a product of wisdom, but a chilling, reckless impulsivity, unburdened by the weight of conscience or the potential for human collateral damage? And what if that perfect, dazzling, almost hypnotic charm is nothing more than a meticulously crafted mask, a predatory tool honed over a lifetime, designed to disarm you, to bypass your critical thinking, to gain your absolute trust? Before they begin the systematic process of dismantling your career, your professional reputation, and your very mental peace by agonizing peace. This is not a script for a Hollywood thriller. We are not talking about the monsters from movies, the ones who announce their presence with overt acts of villainy. We are talking about a far more insidious and prevalent danger, the predator in the tailored suit, the shark in the corner office. We are talking about the corporate psychopath. They don't wield knives. They wield information, influence, and your own ambition against you. They don't leave physical scars. They inflict a deep, corrosive psychological erosion that can take years, sometimes a lifetime, to recover from. They are masters of a quiet violence. And the most terrifying part? They are hiding in plain sight, often celebrated, promoted, and protected by the very systems they so skillfully exploit. They are the architects of toxic work environments, yet they walk away unscathed, leaving a trail of broken careers and spirits behind them. In this broadcast, we are doing more than pulling back a curtain. We are performing a surgical dissection. We will expose the subtle signs, the intricate manipulative tactics, and the unnerving alien mindset of these individuals. This is not for entertainment. This is not about sensationalism. This is about survival in the modern professional world. I urge you to pay close attention, because what you are about to hear is not just academic theory. It is a field guide, a survival manual for identifying a hidden, pervasive danger. And more importantly, it is a blueprint for how to shield yourself, how to become psychologically resilient in the face of this threat. What you learn today will permanently and necessarily change how you view your professional environment. Forever. First, let's be clinically precise because terminology is critical. When we say psychopath in a casual context, the mind immediately conjures images of violent, incarcerated criminals. This is a fundamental and dangerous misunderstanding. Psychopathy is a specific personality disorder, first comprehensively catalogued by Dr. Hervey Cleckley in his seminal work, The Mask of Sanity. It is defined by a distinct cluster of interpersonal, affective, and behavioral traits. The most critical of these are a profound, almost unimaginable lack of empathy, an inability to form deep, meaningful emotional bonds, a pathological egocentricity, a glib, superficial charm, and a ruthless, manipulative disposition. It exists on a spectrum. While some individuals with these traits, often those with lower impulse control or fewer environmental advantages, do end up in the criminal justice system, many others do not. The ones we are concerned with today, the so-called successful or subclinical psychopaths, possess higher intelligence, better impulse control, and a keen understanding of social systems. They don't end up in prison. They end up in the boardroom. Why? Because the modern corporation, particularly in its most aggressive, hyper-competitive forms, has inadvertently created the perfect hunting ground. Think about the traits that are not just rewarded, but lionized in the cutthroat world of business. Unflinching decisiveness, a cool head under extreme pressure, a laser focus on the bottom line, even when it comes at a significant human cost. Overt charisma, a willingness to take massive risks. To the untrained eye, to the executive board looking for a disruptor, the core traits of a psychopath look remarkably, seductively similar to the traits of a powerful, innovative leader. This is their ultimate camouflage. The psychopath's lack of emotion is mistaken for stability and strength. Their inherent ruthlessness is rebranded as ambition and drive. Their predatory charm is mistaken for genuine charisma and leadership potential. The corporate structure doesn't just tolerate them. Research by forensic psychologist Dr. Robert Hare and industrial psychologist Dr. Paul Babiak, authors of Snakes in Suits, suggests that these structures often actively select for them. Their studies found that psychopathic traits are present in the executive ranks at a rate at least 4 times higher than in the general population. 4 times. Let that sink in. They are masters of impression management. They are social chameleons. They study human behavior not to connect, but to mimic and exploit. They learn the right words to say, the right emotions to fake, the right tears to cry on cue, creating a persona so utterly convincing that it fools even seasoned executives, HR professionals, and investors. They can be whoever you need them to be in the moment, the supportive mentor, the loyal colleague, the visionary leader who inspires devotion. But it is all an act. Beneath the mask, there is nothing, a void. An emotional black hole driven by an insatiable hunger for 2 things only: power and stimulation. You are not a person to them. You are an object, a resource, a pawn on their personal chessboard. And pawns, as every player knows, are always, always expendable. To truly understand the danger, you must see the patterns in motion. Let's move from the abstract to the brutally concrete. I want you to visualize these scenarios. See if they resonate with an uncomfortable familiarity, a ghost of an experience from your own career. Imagine a new project manager, let's call him Alex. On his first week, he doesn't just introduce himself, he executes a flawless love-bombing campaign on the entire team. He makes a point to have one-on-one coffee with every member. With you, he discovers you're a passionate fan of a niche film director. His eyes light up with a feigned, intense passion. "No way," he says, leaning in conspiratorially. "I'm a massive fan, too. His early work is genius. We have to talk about it sometime." He creates an instant, powerful, and utterly fake rapport. With your colleague, a single mother struggling with childcare, he talks at length about the supreme importance of family and flexible hours, presenting himself as a compassionate modern manager. He tells a junior member he sees immense potential in them and will personally mentor them. He becomes everyone's perfect secret ally. Weeks later, a major deadline is catastrophically missed. In the emergency executive meeting, Alex, with a look of grave, practiced disappointment, delivers a masterclass in triangulation. "I have to be honest," he begins, his voice heavy with false sincerity. "I've tried to mentor this team, but some members seem to lack the necessary focus. For instance, I know your name is incredibly passionate about film, and while I admire that, perhaps that passion distracts from the critical details. And colleague's name, while her dedication to her family is truly admirable, it has unfortunately led to some significant availability issues at crucial moments. As for junior member, I may have overestimated his readiness for these responsibilities. In one devastating move, he has weaponized the very information he gathered during his bonding sessions to paint you as unfocused, your colleague as unreliable, and the junior as incompetent. He, of course, remains the well-intentioned leader, struggling valiantly with a difficult team. He didn't just throw you under the bus, he built the bus from scratch, convinced you to get on, and then took the driver's seat, smiling in the rearview mirror as he drove away. Consider a boss, let's call her Sarah. You spend a month working on a brilliant, innovative proposal. You present it to her in a private meeting. She seems lukewarm, almost bored. "It's an interesting angle," she says, tapping her pen. "But I don't think the market is ready for it. It's too radical. Let's shelve it for now." 2 weeks later, at the company-wide town hall, the CEO announces a groundbreaking new strategic initiative. As the details unfold, a cold dread washes over you. It is your idea, every key point, every projection, presented flawlessly and passionately by Sarah as her own creation. When you confront her privately, your voice trembling with a mixture of confusion and hurt, she doesn't get defensive. She gets concerned. She looks at you with a calm, pitying expression. "I think you're misremembering," she says smoothly, her tone dripping with condescension. "We brainstormed a few things, yes, and your input was certainly a helpful starting point, but I'm the one who spent countless nights and weekends developing this into a viable, C-suite level strategy. Honestly," she adds, leaning in, "I'm a little concerned about your stress levels lately. You seem overwhelmed. Maybe you're feeling burned out and getting things mixed up." You walk away from that conversation not just robbed of your intellectual property, but questioning your own sanity, your own memory. This is gaslighting in its most potent form. It's a psychological acid, a tactic designed to systematically erode your perception of reality, making you easier to control and, critically, ensuring that if you ever try to report her, you will sound unstable and unreliable. Finally, picture a department head, Michael, who is lauded by the board for his brutal, unsentimental efficiency. The company needs to downsize by 15%. Michael is tasked with the executions. He calls an employee, a man who has given the company 25 years of loyal, dedicated service, into his office on a Friday afternoon. With no emotion, no preamble, no human decency, Michael says, "Your position has been eliminated, effective immediately. HR will provide you with the details of your severance package. Please have your desk cleared by 5. The employee is stunned, devastated, speechless. He finally manages to ask why after all these years. Michael looks at his watch, visibly annoyed by the emotional display. It's a business decision, nothing personal. We're restructuring for future growth. He is completely unfazed by the man's tears, by the life he has just shattered. A normal leader, even a tough one, would feel the immense weight of such a decision. They would show compassion, offer support, acknowledge the human element. For Michael, it was just a task on his to-do list, completed with the same emotional investment as deleting old emails or clearing his browser cache. This is the void in action. The inability to comprehend or care about the pain of others is not a weakness to them. It is their greatest, most profitable strength. They see empathy as a foolish, sentimental vulnerability that gets in the way of results. These scenarios are not random acts of cruelty. They are the predictable output of a specific psychological profile. Now, we will arm you with the specific red flags to look for. These are the glitches in their programming, the cracks in the mask that can appear under pressure. Superficial charm and glibness. This is their primary weapon and your first warning. They are often witty, engaging, and fantastic storytellers. But listen closely. Their charm is a veneer, not a core trait. It feels like a performance because it is. It's a shallow, rehearsed script, lacking genuine warmth or depth. Their stories, while entertaining, often have a self-aggrandizing tint and may contain subtle inconsistencies that change with each telling. It's a charm designed to disarm, not to connect. Grandiose and narcissistic self-perception. They possess an unshakable belief in their own superiority. They truly believe they are smarter, more capable, and more important than everyone around them. This manifests as constant self-reference, incessant talk about their accomplishments, often exaggerated, and a tendency to name drop. They treat rules, policies, and social norms as tedious suggestions that apply to other, lesser people, but not to them. They are the hero of every story they tell, the victim in every conflict, and the genius behind every success. Pathological lying and deception. This is not about the occasional white lie to spare someone's feelings. They lie easily, shamelessly, and often for no apparent reason other than to see if they can get away with it. They will lie about their past, their credentials, their skills, and their actions, creating a complex, ever-shifting web of deceit. If you catch them in a lie, they will not show shame. They will either deny it with incredible conviction, twist the narrative until you are the one who seems confused, "That's not what I said at all, you must have misunderstood," or fly into a rage at the accusation. Cunning, calculated manipulation. This is their core operational mode. They are master puppeteers of the human psyche. They will flatter their superiors while subtly sabotaging their peers. A classic tactic is triangulation. They will create conflict between two colleagues by feeding them different, inflammatory stories, positioning themselves as the sole confidant and mediator, thus gaining control over both individuals and the flow of information. They create flying monkeys, enlisting others to do their dirty work, to harass a target, so their own hands appear clean. A profound lack of remorse or guilt. After hurting someone, destroying a project, or causing a major problem, they display a stunning, chilling lack of concern. They will not offer a genuine apology. Instead, you might get a non-apology like, "I'm sorry you feel that way," or "mistakes were made," which places the blame on your reaction or on an abstract, impersonal force, not their action. They see accountability as a trap for the weak. In their mind, the strong do what they want, and the weak suffer what they must. Shallow affect and emotional poverty. This is a subtle but deeply powerful sign. They cannot experience deep, complex emotions like love, grief, or true compassion. They can, however, mimic them with stunning accuracy. But it's a mimicry, a parody. Watch their eyes during an emotional moment. You may see a flicker of confusion, a cold, analytical assessment of how they should be reacting, rather than a genuine emotional response. They might tell a sad story with a faint, inappropriate smile, a phenomenon known as duping delight, or display exaggerated theatrical emotions that don't quite match the situation. A parasitic lifestyle and blame externalization. In the workplace, this translates to a pattern of taking credit for others' work, delegating their own responsibilities onto unsuspecting colleagues, and immediately blaming others for their own failures. They see their team members not as collaborators, but as hosts from which they can extract resources, be it ideas, labor, or credit. When a project fails, it is never their fault. It was the market, incompetent subordinates, or sabotaging rivals. They are masters of externalizing blame, maintaining their flawless self-image at all costs, poor behavioral controls, and a need for stimulation. While the corporate psychopath is often more controlled than a common criminal, the mask can slip, especially when they are bored or challenged. This may manifest as sudden, shocking outbursts of rage over minor issues, a disproportionate fury that seems to come from nowhere. They also have a deep-seated need for stimulation and can become easily bored with stability. This can lead them to engage in unnecessarily risky business deals, start destructive conflicts, or create chaos and drama within the team simply to alleviate their own boredom. A peaceful, productive environment is anathema to them. Ignoring these red flags, or worse, making excuses for them, comes at a devastating cost. For the individual target, prolonged exposure to a corporate psychopath is not just a bad job. It is a form of sustained psychological warfare. It leads to a state of chronic stress known as hypervigilance, where your nervous system is constantly on high alert. This floods your body with cortisol, leading to a host of physical ailments, insomnia, digestive issues, headaches, and a compromised immune system. Mentally, your confidence is systematically dismantled. You begin to second-guess your abilities, your judgment, your professional worth, and even your own memory and sanity. This is the direct path to severe anxiety, clinical depression, and complete career derailment. You are not just working in a toxic environment. You are the designated target of a predator. For the organization, the cost is equally severe, though often misattributed. A single psychopath can poison an entire department's culture, turning a collaborative environment into a paranoid snake pit. They foster an atmosphere of fear, distrust, and cutthroat competition. Talented, ethical, and creative employees will be the first to leave, unwilling to play the toxic game. This leads to a massive brain drain and a huge financial cost in recruitment and retraining. Productivity plummets as people spend more energy on navigating the treacherous political landscape and defending themselves than on their actual work. The psychopath's impulsivity and thrill-seeking can lead to disastrous business decisions, catastrophic ethical breaches, and massive legal liabilities that can cripple a company's finances and reputation. They are a human cancer, metastasizing through the organizational chart, destroying value and human potential wherever they go. Knowledge is your shield. Action is your sword. If you recognize these signs in a colleague or, more dangerously, a superior, you must accept a critical truth. You cannot change them. You cannot fix them. You cannot appeal to their conscience, their empathy, or their sense of fairness. Because those things do not exist in their psychological makeup. Your only goal is to protect yourself and neutralize their influence over you. Here is your strategy. Document everything, meticulously. This is your single most important defense. It is your anchor to reality. Keep a private detailed log stored off-site, not on company hardware. For every incident, record the date, time, location, direct quotes, as accurately as possible, and the names of any witnesses. Save emails, text messages, and performance reviews. A psychopath's greatest weapon is their ability to control the narrative through lies and gaslighting. Your documentation is the objective, factual reality that pierces through their distorted world. Master the gray rock method. Psychopaths are energetic vampires. They feed on emotion. Your anger, your frustration, your tears. This is high-grade fuel to them. It confirms their power and control over you. The gray rock method is the practice of becoming as boring, unresponsive, and uninteresting as a common gray rock. When they try to provoke you, bait you, or charm you, give them nothing. Respond with brief, factual, unemotional answers. Yes. No. I will look into that. Thank you for the feedback. By denying them an emotional reaction, you become a dissatisfying, boring target. They will eventually get bored and seek their needed stimulation elsewhere. Set and enforce ironclad, unwavering boundaries. They will constantly test your limits like a predator testing an electric fence. They will ask for unreasonable favors, invade your personal time, and push professional boundaries. You must learn to say no, calmly, firmly, and without excessive explanation or apology. I am not able to take that on right now. My work hours are from 9 to 5. That is outside the scope of my responsibilities. Do not justify. Justification is an invitation for them to argue, debate, and manipulate you. A simple, firm no is a complete sentence. Build your alliances carefully and strategically. A psychopath works to isolate their targets, making them feel alone and powerless. Counter this by building a strong, trusted network of colleagues. Share your experiences cautiously and factually with people you know to be reliable and discreet. Frame it as seeking advice on a difficult management style, not as a personal attack. There is immense safety in numbers. If multiple people have a similar documented experience, it is much harder for the psychopath's narrative of being a great leader with a few problem employees to prevail. Make your performance and integrity undeniable. Focus relentlessly on your work. Become so good, so reliable, so ethical, and so valuable to the organization that you are a difficult target to attack. Let your results and your professionalism speak for themselves. This creates a professional armor that is much harder for them to pierce with their political games and slander. Ensure your successes are visible to others, especially to the psychopath's superiors. Don't allow them to be the sole gatekeeper of your reputation. Know and prepare your exit strategy. In many cases, especially if the psychopath is your direct superior and is protected by the organization, the only winning move is not to play their game. Leaving a toxic job is not an admission of defeat. It is an act of profound self-preservation and strategic victory. Start looking for other opportunities quietly. Network. Update your resume. Prepare your departure on your own terms, with your professional reputation and sanity intact. Your mental and physical health is your most valuable, non-negotiable asset. Do not sacrifice it on the altar of any job. We have journeyed deep into the cold, calculating mind of the corporate psychopath. We have dissected their methods, unmasked their motives, and witnessed the silent devastation they leave in their wake. The primary, critical lesson is this: awareness is your first and most powerful line of defense. These individuals thrive in the dark, in the ambiguity of social etiquette, and in the gray areas of corporate hierarchies. By shining a harsh, unwavering, analytical light on their behaviors, you strip them of their primary weapon, the ignorance of their targets. Do not mistake their pathology for ambition. Do not confuse their ruthlessness with strength. Do not be seduced by their manufactured charm. And never, ever believe that you can be the one to change them or to make them see the error of their ways. Your job is not to fix them. Your job is to spot them, to manage the interaction, and to protect yourself and your career from them. The modern world, with its relentless focus on profit and personality, has created a perfect habitat for this new kind of predator. They may not hunt in the wild, but they stalk the hallways, the open-plan offices, and the video conference calls of our workplaces every single day. Remember this: the most dangerous predators are rarely the ones you can easily see. They are the ones you have been trained your entire life to admire. Look around you tomorrow, listen more closely to the words behind the words. Trust your instincts when a situation feels wrong, even if you can't logically explain why. Share this information. You may be arming a colleague, a friend, or a family member with the knowledge they desperately need to survive their own silent battle.